All right, I'm going to do another Joshcast today. I'm upping the Joshcasts for the moment. I feel the need to do it today, mostly because I inverted my morning so that I did a little bit of writing right when I woke up, and then took a shower. And so now by the time I get to the coffee shop, it'll be closer to 9:40, 9:50, and I won't be able to do as much writing there. Even though I did writing earlier, still the obsessive compulsive in me is feeling like what I'm doing is not good enough. So I will also do this podcast, which is essentially me just writing as I am driving, which is probably not the safest thing in the world to do. And essentially it's me doing a bunch of rough drafts. That's what each of these podcasts is. It's me shooting my mouth off to try to come up with material and putting that out in the world for all to hear, which is probably not advisable. I am showing you my rough draft. Maybe that's what this podcast should be called. Rough draft. Total rough draft. Trying to zone into the creative process. Look at that dog. Well, that's where my brain is at right now. Some dogs, I just don't get why did we create that dog? Was it really necessary to create that species of dog? Why are we making that dog that shape? Oh, it helps herd sheep. I doubt that. I doubt with the shape of that particular dog that it helps herd anything. It looks like we bred that dog to be helpless, a lot of these species. They're dogs that can't breathe, and that's how we've bred them. Where did that come from? I'm looking for a dog that I really want my dog to struggle. What do you have in that? All these dogs, they're too healthy. I'm not feeling it. Driving under a bridge that is under renovations right now. They appear to be welding something into one of the columns. I'm not entirely sure what. Hopefully it's reinforcement. And hopefully it's not going to collapse on me as I wait for the light to change. A lot of welding going on. Tremendous amount of welding. Looking at these construction workers, these are men. These are men with muscles and strength. Building. We're building a bridge. I built a bridge today. What did you do? I figured out that the reason why my spreadsheet wasn't working was because I had the wrong cell when I was trying to come up with a formula. It was C15. It should have been D15. And once I did that, then it worked. Then it worked better. But before then, it was real frustrating. Could not find that cell. Could not find it. What'd you do today? Oh, I killed an animal, ate it raw, and then used the bones to build a major bridge in Los Angeles. Wow. Intense. I had some yogurt. Did not agree with me. I knew as soon as I had it, I made a mistake. Only had 2 teaspoons of it, but that was enough to set me off, and I was just out of commission the rest of the day. Really just out of commission. There's an ambulance coming. I need to make it over to the right side. I'm about to turn right, but I'm going to stop and not do anything while this ambulance passes by. Every time I see an ambulance and I don't go to the right, I think, one day that's going to be me in that ambulance, and someone else is not going to go to the right, and then I'm going to be dead. All right, well, the ambulance passed. I'm now making my right turn. Traffic is not too heavy today, which is nice. It could be that it's after the rush. Seeing all these people on scooters, these electric scooters, making their way places. It's not a vehicle that you can use if you're really in a hurry, though. I mean, it can go 15 miles an hour, but still, that's only 15 miles an hour. I would like to see a Fast and the Furious movie with a full-on scooter chase, electric scooter chase. I think it's time. I think they've been going bigger and bigger and bigger with cars and space shuttles. Now I think it's time to go smaller. I want to see Vin Diesel and Tyrese on scooters executing a heist. I want to see a scooter flip over a helicopter. That's what I want. I think that's what America wants. You know, that's what America needs. Oh, it's another bit of mixed-use apartments and restaurants and shops. That seems nice, I guess. $1 million apartment that's on top of a bunch of restaurants. I could be wrong, but the people who live in those always seem depressed to me. I don't know why. But they always seem, and it just shows you that, you know, money doesn't necessarily buy happiness. But I'll tell you what, I'm depressed, and I'm on the poorer side of things. So if I had to choose between being depressed and rich and being depressed and poor, I'm going depressed and rich. If it's lose-lose, I'd rather, lose while driving an Audi. There's my opinion, Jimmy. I don't know who Jimmy is. Jackhammer. I hear a jackhammer. Seeing a guy load office furniture into a car, and by car I mean a minivan. I should have said minivan to begin with, but instead I just said car, the generic term of car. I'm trying to be more specific in my language. He's putting office chairs into a van. Now, theoretically, they could be used at home, and I'm not even talking a home office. I mean, my mom in her kitchen has outdoor patio furniture that was designed outdoors. She has inside of her kitchen because it's easier to maintain than the furniture that she had before, which was, I think, a giant. Growing up, it was a giant marble table. She was big into marble for about, 10 years. Everything was marble. It's odd. I don't know, it was good for having dinner or a meeting of the Justice League, for God's sake. Actually, before the marble table, she had a wood table, and so she would always polish it because the dry climate would dry out the wood, and so every month she'd have to polish the table. And then she got a marble table, and then she'd have to clean that, Windex that, and so I think she finally got sick of it and got outdoor furniture. I think the next step she's going to get those concrete picnic tables that you see in parks. It's just going to be a concrete picnic table. I'm done. There. It's the last 100 years before I have to do anything. We're done. I don't blame her, though. I wouldn't want to clean that crap. I would have no desire to want to clean that stuff. Well, what else? All the things I have to do today at work are like downloading in my brain right now, which always causes me a lot of stress. It's like an info dump. I gotta do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And don't forget this and this as well. Always a stressful time. Watched an episode of Doctor Who last night. One of the main characters was Nikola Tesla. This latest iteration of Doctor Who is very useful for me because they're actually incorporating more history into the episodes. So it's a good opportunity for me to get the education I should have gotten to begin with and learn about who Tesla was. Because I knew of him. And I knew, bits and pieces. So thank you, Doctor Who, for filling in the gaps that existed. And I had a pretty good education. I got the basics, right? America, it's falling apart. Check. I still remember my history teacher saying, we're in the Pax Americana, it's only going to go downhill. And boy, was he right. Good call, American history teacher. Good call. Well, the traffic has picked up a bit. It's taken a minute or two more than it usually does for me to get into my place of business. It's not mine. The place of business. There we go. What kind of bad food decisions am I going to make today? Fantastic question. Truly fantastic question. What kind of bad decisions am I going to make today? What kind of bad decisions am I going to make today? Will it be salt or sugar? Or just a booger? Wow. I didn't want to go there, but the rhyme called to me and I had to answer it. And it's kind of the truth. As disgusting as it is to admit that, it's definitely the truth. This is not where I wanted this podcast to go, but I have to let it go where it goes. Let it go! Let it go! Did anyone care about the Frozen sequel? I feel like I've heard a lot less buzz about that one than the first one. Was it not good? No one, I don't hear anyone talking about it. The first one, I couldn't hear. All I heard. Did lightning not get captured in the bottle twice on this one? I have not heard anything. Maybe it was drowned out by all the people complaining about Star Wars. But I have not heard a single thing about Frozen 2. I wish they called it Frozen 2. Frozen Solid. Or Frozen 2. Frozener. There we go. Thinking back to high school. Why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself? And I just remember as senior, when I was a freshman, how much of an adult voice he had. It was a very deep voice. And how adult he seemed. And now, looking back on it, whenever I look at high school kids, the older I get, now they're just so young they seem. And it's interesting, that perspective of age and what age appears to be from wherever I am at in my... Oh, the other weird thing is that I'll rewatch episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and when I first saw it, I thought, man, Picard is old. They got an old guy, and now the older I get, the more I'm like, oh, he looks pretty good for his age. Yeah, he is not that old. No. But he's a young man. He's young. He's young. What is he, 50? What's that? That's nothing. Yeah. What am I? Closing in on 38. 40's right around the corner. 40! I'm 40 and I have the emotional intelligence of a 5-year-old. 40? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm going to take that back. Waiter, I did not order 40. Take this back. Give me the 25. I'll get the 25 again. Let's try that the second time around. Maybe it'll be better. Well, that's the end of my podcast. Have a lovely week. Insofar as you can have a lovely week. Try not to have a terrible week. That's more realistic.